Well, Easter was yesterday. 20th day of April right now. I'm streaming and creaming for your enjoyment to consume on the Blackjack Day, the 4th month of 2025. Fruit punch. I did a video yesterday about the behaviors we'll talk about again here. The TheDailyWoo drama. Affection for his love. But this is your one and only favorite audio version on that video platform. The worldwide fear-mongering radio. Today, about 4:30, it'll be wheels up. We will be in Atlanta tonight. Tomorrow morning, Double Deuce Day. We will go to St. Martin and have the time of our lives. I need a new battery for the snapper mowing down, and somebody recognized me and said, my brother's 25, he listens to all your videos and audios, and we tell him, I said, hello. Second time in 2 weeks, someone recognized his scrawny little face. So we'll tell him thanks for the few and far between views I get over on the Adventure Channel. Yes, we're live right now, streaming and creaming from the great state of Minnesota. Last night, the Minnesota Wussy Wild played in Vegas tonight. They will play tonight, but it come to you today, the 21st day, at 9 o'clock Central. The Timber Stiffs Pumpkin Bowl. Punks play Pumpkin Bowl. They did win in L.A. Beat the ladies in grand tradition that Stiffs did. I could give two pumps about Pumpkin Bowl. I love controlled violence and footsie and hooky. Feeble old men pain trying. 0 F's given. Lost highway. But I hope whenever this finds you, I hope this found you healthy and it found you wealthy. We went down to the VFW in Chaska and Chanhassen, and had a nice big meal. Well, I only put in 7 hours today, and I will go to the airbeat. We get back Wednesday night at like 11 or midnight. I will soldier on and go to work. It's 6 bells. But anyways, I'm feeling wonderful and delicious, outrageous, contagious, and horny. I hope you are as well, wherever you're at, domestic and abroad. Remember the men and women of the armed forces and the men and women in blue, and God bless the working class. 9/11 victims, you see something, you say something. Don't need to see draw blood for love. Break off a switch, bitch! Adrian Peterson did that. I speak English on the behalf of the men and women that stormed those beaches. One was end all wars, and then Hitler decided September 1st, 1939 to start World War II. Remember how he practiced on executing people, rounded up 5,000 handicapped children and executed them, and just they died of measles. Blindies lived next to railroad tracks. They built all their camps next to railroad tracks so they could bring the people down there to execute them. They soon took out 50,000 crippled people so they could do it in mass. World War II. But we did storm those beaches. We snapped at the crowds and they all went to Berlin. Hitler took his own life. Allegedly. Forgotten war. Vietnam. Listen to some on there of what they went through. 58,000 plus, a lot of collateral damage. All the wars, Afghan, everybody out there. Balls the size of basketballs and ovaries the size of oak trees. Air Force, Army, and the Marines, and the Navy, and the Merchant National Coast Guard, they're in and out of uniform. We thank you so much for your service, this fine, fine country, and wherever you're at, like cop, call crackhead. My favorite brainwashing behavior was, what was that name of that place? Venus Project. Look them up, Venus. I might call her today, Venus Project. I've called her before on this show. Check in. She's in Florida. You want a resource economy? Look it up, Venus Project. I've spoke before. Whatever you do, everything is free. It's got to work for a living. Work! But thank you. Choices. Yeah, your choices in life. I don't run with poor people. I don't. Criminals, whatever else. Don't do it. Bitch, please. Bitch, please. Grits guy, you never said public spanking or snuggie. And I've said before, I'll go on record, I want both. Morning! Could give them to me. I'd hire her to be at the Mall of Astoria, and she'd be up on that stage, dressed the hill with high heels on and black panties on. She'd dole them out, spanking, and then her little brother, Karl, would give the snuggies. That was a condom. When you make good choices, if you use one, guess what? You won't contract herpes, AIDS, gonorrhea, needle in the penis. And you won't father children. And women, you won't have to carry the groceries when you F in the back seat of the car in Las Vegas, Reno, or maybe wherever. You have sex in the bed, you make love in the bed. Remember, if you don't like two men having consensual sex up Hershey Avenue, I get it. I'm going to up it now. I think $30 is $30. I want a little more. As long as no one knows, but if you do videotape it, I want profit. I want 50% of the video. Just black out my face. But the choice is very simple. Prevent that kind of behavior. But if you don't like two men, like I've always said, two women smashing gash, dental dam, it's not a very Christian thing to be doing. To watching two women have sex is that it's gay sex. You can't have double standards. Like Pete Rose. Were you lying then? Or were you lying now? I'm just curious, bitches. Now the good choices when you're out drinking, whatever it may be, because the holiday season, November 1st, is close at hand for the begging season. When you're drinking, don't drive. Call someone. You're going to murder somebody. Call Grits. Call Karl. Call Dave 25. He'll come get you with his Mustang. That's all we're asking. Much appreciated. It's a beautiful day to be alive. We took the Brad around the block. It's starting to rain a little bit. Like I said, I did the lawn yesterday and had to get that battery. They recognized me. $52. Started her up and drove around. Put the stuff over Chloe's grave, which I buried the 9th day of April when she died the 6th day. So it kind of covers up a little more and we'll settle in. She can be dust to dust. We said dog. Bosco's been in her little bed lately. Out in the living room. Coco's not getting chased around. Now she chases Bosco. The Costco kitty. But yeah, it's one day tomorrow, today, and then got all my gear ready to rock and roll. New tennies. Cameras all ready to rock and roll. I might do some live streams right here on YouTube with my phone if I decide to. Get some cigars. They have different flavors there. And I will smoke many. I don't like what Karl doesn't know how to light a cigar. Gritzos allegedly was supposed to send him a cigar lighter or something, I guess, allegedly, because he doesn't know how to do it. So I don't know. But yes, we were supposed to be direct back, but we have first class the way back, which isn't overly a big deal. I've flown first class. When we went to Philippines or Japan for the daytime job, yeah, we always flew first class. That's the way it worked. It's nice, a long flight. I can sleep, put my head over there, and if it does crash, I don't even know what happened. I'll wake up in either the gates of hell or heaven, whatever. Doesn't maybe I'll this. Oh yeah. Welcome, cow shit. I've been waiting for you, you little cockroach. It's me, it's Alan Longos. I'm here in the gates of hell. I got cow shit. Waiting for you, Grits. Karl, Daniel, Black Hughes. Winning. All the haters out there. I'll be waiting with Fat Boy, Papa Grizz, 56. So nice when you're alive. You can feel pain and you can walk around, work, hunk bubbage around. Saw my favorite flight attendant, St. Paul. She looks at that chick from CNN. She's such a drop-dead gorgeous. Told her that today. And she looked at that one lady on CNN. She blushed. And I said, you look just like her, but you're a hell of a lot more beautiful and more attainable. And she laughed. Peeled me up a $5 bill. That's most of it. She's always, whenever I do any of the airlines, she's always the best one. She's just so effing goddamn drop-dead. She's like 5'9". Oh, my God. Oh, my word. Oh, what if her name is Carolyn? What the hell her name is? But she's one of the fights that look, she's absolutely drop dead. I'm like, oh my word. No ring on her finger. First round draft choice. It's like, really? You're single? What is wrong with these men? But then what do I say? Why do women become lesbians? Why do they smash gash? Why? They only want the seed, but they don't want the crank. They can't find a man. Men work. Boys play video games. I can play video. I'm not going to watch anybody. And this woman could sit in my bedroom and read the Polish funnies on Sunday, which is the obituaries in the St. Paul Pioneer Press. I could just sit there, her bra and panties. I'd sit there in my underwear and just look at her. Just read another for me, please. As I'm eating chips and dip, she whispers in my ear, reads it for me, and be like, "Is there any more?" There's plenty more. Thank you. She's like the young lady up the block. I call her Hot Tamale. She is short. She's 5'3". But there is an exception because you have to be 5'9" taller to get this ride. I would make an exception. I was taught Sue Ellen. Hot Tamale. Absolutely drop dead gorgeous. Built like a shipwreck house. Plenty pushing for the cushion. Just not too skinny, not too big, just a nice roly-poly. Oh, my goodness. She is a married woman, and so am I a married man, but If she wasn't, I wasn't. I wouldn't question twice. I'd go on a cruise for 2 weeks and she'd walk bull-legged. Enough of my fantasies. Easter's come and gone. Spring is here. Summer is 90 days in the great state of Minnesota. I know my beloved Cowboys are hosting the Queens. I don't know if I'm going to go or not. Football season will be closed. The draft will be why I'm in St. Martin. I will sit in my underwear and yell at the TV and watch first round and sit on the deck and smoke a cigar. I usually have like one every day on the beach as I walk down Front Street. If I could live there, I would. It's a friendly island. Open my own restaurant. Grits would come along with his boyfriend or girlfriend. I don't know if he where he swings. That's fine. Which way the door goes. Maybe it's both ways. I don't know. You're welcome here. You're a stranger here once. All laundry baskets are welcome. Karl would be my bitch boy. Be my cook back there. I'd yell at him. Let's hurry it up. Old Man Nation would be a waiter. Morning would be the cashier. Sarasota Tim would walk around selling coupons. Many other chows. Oh. But I haven't really. I know that the man Forrest Gump, New York Dan, is back in New York, and he was doing baseball stuff, and no one cares. No one cares. I mean, I've been there, and it's like, try me the TheDailyWoo. I don't know. He was stalking his fantasy man in the outskirts. So I have spoken to Karl, the lead hater, the lead watcher, and I haven't much from Blind View. That's the way he sees it. Haven't heard much about him at all. Air Hockey Saloon. Okay. All right. But we have the time of our lives. But it's good to see he got back into New York, driving around. I guess was some allegedly paid some woman to be in videos with him. Some girl, I guess, that is either she's a me only fan or she's a fan girl. New York Dan, call the show, and I mean call the show. But I spoke about this on the audio version, the TheDailyWoo. And let's play. I'm going to play you back what he had to say. The sheriff is here when he was whining and crying about this whole behavior going on. Old Man Nation, what's this all about? Moments at the Tika Hut, what's this all about? Old Man Nation, let's see.
Hello, folks, how you doing?
Good, what's up?
Hey,
What?
glad to see you.
Okay.
Been a little bit of time, huh?
Mm-hmm.
So what are we going to do today? Well,
I don't know.
First of all, I just want to introduce you. Hey, Karl, look at this one.
What is it?
Oh, Seki.
Oh, sicky. Oh, beer. Mm-hmm.
Lime and salt.
Nice.
24 ounce.
Nice. He's drinking outside. He's a grown-ass man. It's going to piss off Blind Views.
Pretty mild on the alcohol.
Odd moment at the Tiki Hut.
It's good. Tastes a little bit of lime, salt, just right. Yep. Walmart, Karl. Walmart.
Mm-hmm.
Pick you up one. I think it was 328 or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Well, different than city organized crime, trust me.
I'm gonna have to look.
Okay.
Anyways, it's kind of a special one, you know?
Okay.
I want to probably drink them all the time, but...
We get permission, blind views.
Mixtures out there, I guess. Geladas. Karl, yeah.
Get to it.
Take you off that Modelo for a little bit. You put it in the koozie here. Might have to give me another koozie and put on top of that, huh? So, what are we gonna do today? Well, don't fall over.
Okay.
Yeah, guess what I'm gonna do for once?
What?
I'm gonna talk about Sarasota Tim.
No.
Why? Hey, how can you not talk about it? He went down to Delray, Boynton Beach. Yeah.
I've been there.
Yeah. He went to Teddy and Jolene's. Hey, who can't talk about something like that? And that's like breaking news, huh? So anyways. Yeah.
What?
So I guess he had to drop Miss Tammy off over there at the homestead, see the grandkids and everything, because, you know, he's not allowed over there.
Really?
So, I don't know, maybe he's sleeping in his car or something like that? Over on the beach or something? Yeah, and then what's he do?
What?
He makes a surprise appearance over in Teddy and Jolene's. And you know he didn't call them.
Right.
Oh, no, he didn't call
I'm
them.
gonna move on. This is the...
All right, so there's a lot of smoke in the air. It's time and I cleared it. So as many of you know...
This is the sheriff is here talking.
Me and Aaron passing through productions. I called him the other fellow. I didn't think too much of it. Apparently, I'm not allowed to say that because it was misconstrued, and he said I was being passive-aggressive. But okay. But anyway, we are no longer friends. We have been friends for a while. I knew the guy for 8 years. And, you know, people said I was jealous of him. I was never jealous. He was better at the long form. I did the short form. I mean, he was here before me. You know, he helped me out. And I, in turn, tried to do the same, try to pay it forward, put him in live streams, shouted him out. And then I disagree with a lot of the stuff he said about Adam. I thought he was going at him a little too hard. I thought he was being a little too condescending, arrogant.
See, he was pissed because he was ripping on his hero. That's a problem.
Judgmental. And I poked fun at him. And apparently the critiquer cannot handle critique. So in turn, he tried to reach out with me. We had a brief conversation, and then he blocked me. So this whole narrative he's trying to spin where I walked away is simply not true. I love seeing how this is playing out, because this pretty much affirms everything that was said back in the Boyd days. And it's sad because, you know, he not only got pissed off at me, he went to a third party and shared with them private information that I had told him. And then they tried to come at me and strong arm me into being quiet. And then, you know, they embellished on that. So, yeah. But I mean, I know a lot about him too, but I would never share that because that's not what I do. So that's kind of where we are. But I'm not going to sit here and be silent anymore. So, I mean, whatever happens, happens. I have no desire to keep this beef going. You know, if he wants to... And talk about being passive-aggressive. I didn't even say anything after all this. I was quiet. As you noticed, I didn't say a word. But he kept talking about it, So now it's my turn. So I wish him well. I hope his channel is everything he wants it to be. And this is done. But we'll see. If you've hung around the boy long enough, you'll know. It's like the old rap battles. He's like Kendrick Lamar and I'm J. Cole, I guess. Cole, whoa! Oh, well, we'll see how this plays out. All right.
So that is the sheriff. I didn't know they were having a problem until I saw something on passing through, and I talked about it. And it just... So he was getting mad at the sheriff was getting mad because he went too hard, passive aggressive at TheDailyWoo, because TheDailyWoo is just kind of like me and Karl, but he's mainly a point and shoot, kind of like carpetbagger, and that you just put together, unlike the Huss up to before. Her car one, which I watched a little bit of it, she did a lot of editing on it, and that's fine. She does a lot of it. Spends 120 hours a week, and I've talked about that. God bless her, and that's what she wants to do. And passing through production reminds me of Blind Views. He needs to have production for some reason on YouTube. Again, as Karl has said many times before, it's what you're getting. Every day something comes out on my adventure channel, the Cowpote Adventure. It comes out on there. The cars are coming out, not getting a lot. I put under the car thing, I don't know, but whatever. I had fun doing it at the Back to the 50s. It's every July. I've been going there for 10 years. I think I started videotaping 6 years ago. I went way, maybe longer than that. I've been going, even before I was on YouTube. And I've gone. And I love going to those car shows and showing people what's out there, and maybe talk to people that people can't go, maybe someplace. And I enjoy doing it. Do I wish I could get more? Hell yeah. Am I? Probably not. But just kind of sounds like the Troll Patrol is, again, him and the other guy are like really super fans, just like Jenny Penny, the fangirl, who happened to meet Carpetbagger after his wife left him because he was too busy traveling. She's the housekeeper, and we'll see how long that lasts once they get married, because he's running around, never home. He only went back to North Carolina because of the hurricane. Other than that, I think somebody said he's going to be gone till May, and why she takes care of the house. So I think between these two guys, I think they just both are in love with the DailyWoo. And one of those guys, DailyWoo, one time was at a store. He buys shirts like kind of like I do. It was giving them away, like bringing them to. And then one of these idiots actually went to that store and found one of his shirts. It's just like the Huss has talked about Chonies, her underwear. She'll donate her clothes. Like we donated a bunch of clothes to the veterans. They come in, they get it. We get a slight write-off, whatever. That's what we do. We go through stuff. Any company stuff I throw in the garbage because it's got the emblems on it. You know what I'm saying? And I talk. But like when we go on the cruise, like we're going on this vacation, I bring old underwear, old socks, and I throw it away every day. And old shirts I wear in the water. I toss them. I throw them in the car. I throw them away. That's how I travel. So everything, a bunch of shirts that we don't like. And when I swim in the ocean, I wear a shirt because you get real easily sunburned down there down in the Caribbean. So I've been on cruises before, and my whole body was it was a very uncomfortable cruise because my whole body was just burning up. So when I do go on a cruise, I wear a shirt when I'm in the water. Okay, I love the ocean. I respect it. I love going there, but with these two guys, I spoke about it. It's immaturity. It's just kind of like with Old Man Nation and Blind Views. We're both talking about them, and Old Man Nation just kind of talks about it and points and shoot. He does the short form. Blind Views is more of a guy who expects to be entertained, expects to people to edit stuff. You're not a movie; it's YouTube. Me and Karl and Old Man could live together in that area and do movies together. We could put together bits for like a 15-minute bit every day and have like an adventure together. We're doing things, and we could edit it, I guess. And it's called YouTube Red, I think it is. And they have movies over there. We could have our production value. I get all that. I guess I could learn, but I'm not. Hey, I went to the auto show. I made 6 videos for the Adventure Channel. I made a couple for here that will come up. And what's his name? Old Man Nation talked about on the show. We talked. Yeah, I have a lot of videos because I make time for my videos. I do them real quick. It doesn't take that long to upload. I have a pretty fast computer, and I can put them up pretty quick. We got a decent computer here. But it's too bad that the one guy passing through productions is sharing personal information. Hey, Karl has told me things about where his wife worked. I would never say anybody would. If for some reason we broke up, I don't think we would. I wouldn't say, yeah, man, his wife works for McDonald's, man. She's a manager for them, man. Yeah, no, maybe she works for Wendy's. I don't know, man. Yeah, no, she works for Wendy's, man, right down the street from his house in the city of blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to all of a sudden start sharing personal information. That's what people love to do. You share information, you break it off in the bottom of YouTube. That's what they call Boyd. I call it the fourth floor of the Titanic, because if you've seen the movie, and it's true, the fourth floor was where they locked everybody in, and they already dead. Just like the 4 floors of whores in Singapore. Look it up. 4 floors of whores in Singapore. I bought rug-burn them one time. It's a pretty nasty place. I dropped him off, came back, he had a smile on his face, but $1,000 a little light on the wall, but he had a good time with a bunch of Asian women. But no, it's too bad to see these grown-ass men fighting over the love and the affection. And you heard that one guy was too mad about making fun of Adam Boo, doing too hard on the guy. But, passing through production knows how to do all the production crap. And he expects people to edit and expect people to do voiceovers and put all that stuff together. That just takes more time. And I do. What's that one guy, Paging Mr. Barrow, whatever his name is? He's a nice man. He's very appreciative towards his fans, and he gets mad at passing through that Adam doesn't thank his fans. People no longer give him money to do what he does, but you do want to. It's like I told that one guy, tell your brother I said thank you for watching my fan, watching my stuff. I appreciate that. Anybody that comes and listens to my audios, my videos, I appreciate it. There's 6.5 million things you can listen to, and you come here to consume this. But I thought that was a little disappointing to hear these people act like a bunch of imbeciles. But let me see if Ted the Talking Head's in the building. No Ted the Talking Head. Should I call Karl? Or should I call Mark? Call Mark.
Hello?
Welcome to the show.
Oh, how you doing?
Good. What's up? I just listened to a little bit of your video.
Oh.
But I played it back a little bit on the show, just a little bit. I went to something else. I just kind of. So what's going on in the hater community with Sarasota Tim? What's going on with that? What's going on with his tiki behavior?
Well, just from what I saw, because I usually don't go on to it too much, but I seen he went down to Boynton Beach there. Mm-hmm. And I saw that he went over to Ted and Jolene's, and I thought, what? And I'm sure everybody else is going to come out. I don't know if anybody else has commented on their channel yet, but yeah, it was kind of odd, on the first one there. It's just kind of like, hey, here I am, hi. And he didn't call ahead of time or anything, because we were all under the impression from like over a year ago or whatever it was when he left there, it was just kind of like he just left. And there was no ifs, ands, or buts. There was no goodbyes or anything like that. So we all just assumed that something went down, because he did do a lot of filming, and some inconspicuous on Miss Jolene. So
right.
That's what it was. So this time, I think they were just like, it's like one of those things, you have a fight or something, you come back and it's like, hey, I'm here. But I think Jolene and Teddy are such kind people. They just thought, well, let's just ride this out. But Tim, he needs to film everything, and it's like, God, really?
Yeah,
you got to film everything?
Yeah. Well, I've talked about Wonder Hussy one time. She said in a video, let's say me and you were friends with her, we want to take her someplace. She won't go anywhere unless she can video. You know what I'm saying? That's just, hey, I've been many places with my wife, and she goes, I go, nah, not a big deal or something. We went to the farmer's market. It came up a couple days ago. She shopped, I walked around, showed it, and, whatever. But usually we can go someplace, and I don't gotta film. You know what I'm saying? We're going on vacation tomorrow. I'll do separate filming, or we'll go someplace together. But we'll go into town some nights. My camera won't be with me. We'll walk in. We'll walk on Front Street. But I can go places without filming. But some YouTubers are like that. And that's the carpetbagger. He doesn't really know how to enjoy himself running around. All he does is he does these hour-long videos. And then he goes home. He goes back to his hotel, and he probably edits it, and then waits to upload it, and goes to bed, gets up in the morning, and does the same thing again. And while it's uploading, he's researching where he's going to go. He doesn't enjoy where he goes because he's constantly documenting it. And I understand that. That's great. Just like I talked about in the audio about. I just taught before I called you. I played back. The sheriff was here. Was fighting with Passing Through Productions, and it's kind of like the fallout you and Blind Views have. He likes the long version. You like the point and shoot. Those two are fighting because the guy, the Passing Production reminds me of Blind Views because he expects people that he likes to do production, to do editing. He expects more out of the Woo, where the Woo is kind of like me and you, but he just mainly points, shoot, stop, and he puts it together. Carpetbagger's the same thing. He points, where the Huss will do B-roll, the yin yang. She'll play music, and then she overhead, and that's her business. But he expects the DailyWoo to totally, I don't know what. He expects it to over-edit, and he expects to have all this behavior, and the sheriff, they both kind of are in love with that in the Woo, and he was mad that Passing Through Production was a little negative towards, and just like with your buddy Blind Views claims he doesn't watch, Tim, you actually said today in your channel you went over and watched. You actually said you watched what you commented on. You didn't go and hall pass it on Life in Vibe. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
it's just like you can't trust. I once said that in this something else. I said even when if you're let's say you're a foreman or whatever out in the workforce, you've got men you can trust, but it's always your job to go back and check the work to make sure that it's okay. Because if you don't, something could go wrong, man, and it's going to be on you. Just like a to-go order, a truck driver or something. When they load up the product on his truck, if he's responsible for it being strapped down and going on the road.
Correct.
So it's the same thing, and I've run into those problems before at work or something, and you don't want to be in that situation, especially if you're pouring concrete or doing something else. My
father-in-law poured our concrete, and he's been gone now, but he poured it 25 years ago. There's one little crack in it. One little crack in it. Because when he did that, when he laid down concrete, he did use. I can look at concrete by the coloring, and I can tell you if it's good or bad. Because he did. It was the way he gave us a real good deal on it. He did the drive. It would have been like $12,000. We got it done for $4,000 because he gave us call. Well, I was married to his daughter, but he was right. And the same thing. I worked at Perkins. When any to-goers went out, we always had someone look at it, the cook, to make sure it was right. Because then we knew it was okay. I'd look it over, make sure, because it's leaving the building. You know what I'm saying? You made sure. Just like when I do fabricating for my uncle. He looks my stuff over, and I've missed a few welds or something. He goes, no, that's not right, before he builds over it, like we talked about with, what's his name, Tater, and doing his bust. He should have did all the stuff first, and then built out. That's why he's going to have problems. He'll probably have a fire because he keeps adding the stuff and making it worse. So it's the same thing. When you're the BOSS, it lands on you. So
yeah, I had gone over and saw some of the carpetbagger today just to check him out because I usually don't follow him.
Right.
And I just kind of clicked on a few, and I see where he kind of made a video there. It's kind of like he kind of got the hint about something about him going to the playground or something, going out there, and he was sitting on the swing trying to make excuses or something, And then
he goes down the slide again.
I know.
And then he bitches that it's too small. I'm like, you're a grown-ass man. But if you go to that one, if you type in Carpetbagger falls on a child, you go watch the video where he broke that down. What's his name? Broke it down for demonic, whatever his name is. If you type in Carpetbagger falls on a kid, or you go back to his last Tuesday when he was at that park in New Orleans, you'll see the video where he's climbing up the thing and he's falling on a kid. And he's bitching that the ceiling is too small. I knew he would do a walk and talk on that. He just, in his mind, doesn't realize. It's, again, like I said, let's say I'm a very good friend of yours and you're a big drinker, and I have to have an intervention, and you don't want to admit I'm wrong. Hey, listen, I mean, hey, Mark, guess what? I'm here as a friend, and you get right away, hey, I'm not an alcoholic. I'm not, I don't have a problem until it's too late. And, that he doesn't... I get it. I'm childlike. We all want to think like a child. When I see a wiffle bat, I smile because I remember myself playing wiffle ball. When I see people playing baseball, I get a smile because I think I remember my days playing in the park, and I think it's a great thing. I see people fishing on a bicycle. I see myself doing that as a kid, and I get going to parks, but I'm surely not climbing up a bunch of kids on a park. The thing is too small for me. I mean, but he just doesn't. I don't hate Carpetbagger, but he doesn't realize how it looks. He just doesn't in his mind doing that. And he's at a park doing the walk and talk, and then he goes down the slide and bitches that it's small. I'm like, do you understand what you're doing here? You're again. I'm putting on a large shirt, and I'm a double XL, and I bitch it's too small. Why is this shirt so small, Mark? Well, Jeff, you can't wear that because you're fat.
Right. It's just, He's basically tied to YouTube so much that he's not thinking that. What are you doing here? I mean, you got to either slow down or something. But the guy sure does travel a lot.
Well, he does it because he's getting people give him money. That's why at the end of every video he asks for it. And he lost his wife, divorced him because one year he's only home for 7. If you Camo Dave talked about that. If you go back into Camo Dave did a video on they did a video when they were getting divorced, and Jenny Penny, his girlfriend now, is the fangirl, aka she's the housekeeper, taking care of the house while he runs around. And I great, he can travel, but he doesn't do it because of his content. People give him money to make content, and I'm not jealous of the guy, but if I can be doing that, like the Daily Woo, he does it between 25 and 30. I'm not going to watch an hour-long video.
Right. He kind of gets it down to semi-reasonable length,
Right.
Some people might not listen to the whole thing, but at least what I like about Daily Woo is he comes down to your level. He's not trying to be somebody that he's not or anything. And he does. I have seen one thing. Like once a year, he'll come down and he'll say, "You know what? I'm not going to do Disney no more.
Right.
I'm not going to do this. I'm going to get rid of my Instagram. I'm getting rid of it. I'm selling all my Disney stock."
Yeah.
And then about a year later, well, I'm going back to this, and it's like, so I don't know if it's.
He does that. He does that all the time. Like I knew when he went to South Korea. I told him you'll be back. I told him that. I said I knew he'd be back. He responded back, I don't think so. He was back. Guess where he went when he got back on Good Friday? Right to Disneyland. Right. Where'd he go? He's in California.
God almighty, yeah.
He gets back. What does he do? Goes right to Disneyland. That's what he does. There's a lot.
Get away from it,
It's just some people, just like the Palo Alto guy. There's another one that does a daily vlog, and he's Disney this and going to Epic. And I've seen Carpetbagger will hook up with Tampa J is wanting to go full. All these guys, it's just I can pretty much predict when they go to Disneyland or World when there's ever some kind of anniversary. Because what's his name was on that train, but he flew back to Disney World before he went to do something with the Adam the Woo to celebrate something, and then he flew back to Disney to New Orleans to do his train thing. So he does a lot of that stuff. And Carpetbagger, I think he said he's coming to Minnesota. He's going to come up and see his dad.
I know he was.
And nothing.
Where was he? Was he in Wisconsin last or something?
No, he was in Chicago.
Oh, okay.
Because his mother lives in Indiana, so he says that his dad lives in St. Paul, and he says his first name. Everyone knows his last name, so let's give out your dad's name where he lives. That's just not a good thing, So,
right.
And I think he's going up north to see. If he was smart, he would do the Lake Superior all the way around. If he was smart, he would, because that's where he's going. He goes, you don't have to use a passport in the small town. So he's going to St. Paul to see his father, and then he's been here. That's the third time he's been here in the last 6 months. He was at the Mall of America, and he was at downtown St. Paul, and so I think he's going to go up north. 61. We've been up there 2 harbors before, and I think hopefully he goes to the Witch's Tree, and he'll probably go to Gooseberry Falls, which is really cool. That's a great. Hope he goes there, because we went there, and I've been there a few times. That's a very cool place. We went there during the pandemic, so maybe he'll probably hang out in Duluth or something. That's nice. That's a nice town. That's a nice town.
I know Adam DeWoo went to that great Mall of America, or whatever he called it.
Yeah, Mall of America.
And security come up to him and everything, and got on to him and wanted to see what was filming. He said that he got a bad vibe being there. So
he went back again when he came through. I saw him that day walking down the street. I saw him. So I saw him. So I did film all 4 floors last year, but I quickly walked around with my camera. I used my phone, and I just would stop it and start it. But he was like, the way he was doing it was kind of strange. He was pointing at people, so whatever it may be. But they're very strict on filming at the Mall of America. You be very careful when you film there, and it's
And I know he's gone down to the DJI, real small camera. It's almost.
The Pocket.
Almost can't see it. Yeah,
it's the Pocket 3. I have the Pocket 2. He has the Pocket 3. Those are like $500. Those are not cheap. And I told Karl, mine broke. The gimbal did after I had it for 6 weeks. Be very careful with that gimbal. That's why I like my DJI 4. I just like it. It's easier to handle than the GoPro 10. I get that Pocket, but it's just, you've got to be very, very careful with that gimbal, because it's wide open, and it falls over. That gimbal breaks, you're screwed.
Wow.
Because I had a warranty, so they replaced it for free.
Oh, okay.
So, but it was a 2-year warranty. But it's just, you got to be very careful with that. So, man, I mean, but just this inner fighting between these two idiots, because what he did is, when he was mad at him, and Pass Into Productions, they've shared information back and forth for 8 years. He gave information to a third party, which is just stupid. I mean, it's just people. That's what they do in the community. If you share personal information with somebody, I get mad at you. Well, I know this about Mark. Blah, 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 blah. I know this about Jeff.
Right.
People love to drop dime on people in any social network for some reason. As soon as you have a problem, it's just like if you leave a company. I've signed don't talk, but I don't share personal information on a job. I quit. I just don't. I have a little like I said, Blog Talk Radio shut down January 31st, and I had many codes from people for years, and a couple called me later on, and I said, I still have your code for you. Here it is, because they'd forgot it, but I never ever went into their system to look at how many views they had. I was strictly there. When you would go live from your car on Blog Talk on your phone, I would run your switchboard. I'd say, "Hey, Mark, you got a phone call." You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I would, because it was a switchboard would come up, and I'd go, we have line 3 or 612. You're on the air, so I would be their switchboard operator for people if they were somewhere. Without a computer, they could call in, and I could bring people in and out. But that was strictly, not all the time. But that was
okay.
Because they'd say, "Can you? Hey, I'm out of town. Can you set me up a show for tomorrow?" Sure, and I would set the show for them. Because that's what I would do out of friendship for many people. But I never shared anyone's stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
A couple people did. Right. A couple people actually died. I never went in there did anything with it. It's just the way it worked. I didn't do it. I don't do that kind of behavior. But it's just too bad to see that. Just like with you and Blind Views having your break off because you're more political left, and he's just like that chick that Caravan Caroline. I listened to that one. I think I told you, or I told it to Karl. She was at the pool, the least, and she was in Wisconsin. She was in Mexico.
Right.
Jesus, that was just an angry, like pissing and moaning about everything. It's like that. Mexico was the worst place to go vacation in the first place.
Man.
She was at Mazatlan, in which I've been there on a cruise, but she was bitching about whatever. She
was there a year ago, and she kept bitching about these guys trying to taunt her and everything. And she'd go over to the bar and just sit there, and she had to walk in there. These guys, locals or whatever, were taunting her, and it's like, well, why did you even go back then unless she went to a different location? But
well, it's cheap.
I don't know.
Mexico was cheap to go to, and I like, we're going to St.
Well,
Martin.
yeah.
I think St. Martin's going to be like a little under $5,000, but it's a really little DV Bay. It's a really nice resort. We're going to hopefully get right on the beach right there. They'll give us when we get there. We requested. And I've been to Mexico on cruises. I don't like staying at a resort where they have people with guns guarding. I don't like. No. They don't encourage you go into town where we go into town all the time. St. Martin, and it's just they have the front street. The cruise lines come in, and it's a lot of fun to be downtown.
Well, that's run by what, the British, is it, or is it the Dutch?
It's both. It goes both. There's Dutch and there's two different sides. It's Dutch and whatever. It's two. I can't remember what it is, but
right.
And it's a friendly island. And if they have any kind of crime, they don't like it because cruises come there all the time. Because for a while, Mazatlan was off. They weren't going there cruises for a while because there was too much crime going on.
Oh, yeah, the gangs were down there, and
so they didn't go. But I just saw that video of the one, and she's sitting in. I just happened to listen to it yesterday. I'm going to go see what she's doing. So she's sitting there bitching about food. The guy had to remind her there was more than one restaurant. But because I guess Karl told me she used to be a cop. So
she used to be a cop up in Washington or something, and she was. Then she's got a condition. She's been on. Same thing blind visas on disability.
Okay.
So she got out of that. She's got I can't think. It's kind of like she has a little bit of a shake to her, you know. I can't remember. Anyways, so she's been on that for quite a while, and I assume that she must have got a pretty good deal because she seems to be doing pretty good for herself and everything. And she did the Nomad thing for a while, and. But she doesn't do that anymore. She hangs around with her boyfriend, and
she's just a very, 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 very unhappy person in that video. I mean, I was just she's sitting in the pool, and I'm just like the flag you showed me when she walked out and did the flag, and she's just. I know she's be a cop, but you're at that. I'm at this age, getting close to retirement. I'm on the back nine in golf, whatever. I'm in the overtime in my life. I'm just too old to be angry. I try not to let things get to me. Takes a lot to piss me off. Just like prime example, we talked about Tim. We were down at Scoreboard, right? And we had a meal, and part of her meal was burnt. It was something they made, and the lady took it back, made her new one, right? So we had we had chips, right?
Right.
So before that, so it wasn't a big deal. I'd eat my meal. I had a walleye sandwich. I thought the chick took the chips off the meal, which I didn't need to do. But the other lady comes out and gives us a free dessert, and I go, wait a minute now. And she goes, I already took chips. Oh, you can have it. I'm like, we didn't ask for either one of that. We just said, hey, can you make her a new one? Because whatever it was, the mushrooms or something was burnt. You could smell it.
Right.
We didn't ask anything special. She watched me eat, we talked, they brought a new one. Then the lady brought the bill and said she took off the chips. And I went, before I could say anything, the chick comes on the corner with the maitre d' came around, didn't know so well, with a chocolate chip ice cream dessert. I'm just like, you didn't have to do that. I said we didn't. It wasn't a big deal about the cooking it wrong. It was not a big deal.
Well, that's what a business should do. They're just trying to.
No, I didn't mind the chip, but we didn't need a double deuce. We didn't need. The chips was their choice. We didn't ask for that.
Right.
But then they bring me a dessert, which. Okay, thank you. You didn't need to do that either. But they didn't communicate with each other that they took care of their problem. So I'm like, whatever. But we didn't bitch. I just said, she just goes, can you make me a new one? And I go, no problem. And she ate the rest of the chips. Right. I took my time eating my food. And we talked a little bit, and it finally came, and it was just fine. I didn't, It wasn't like she was ranting and raving. It was just the way it was made. It was kind of a Chinese infused something, whatever the hell it was, so whatever. But I thought of Tim right away with him, when I heard that from Karl, that he was pissing and moaning about whatever else, about getting a free meal. But people do. He's one of millions that does that. They'll go to a restaurant and they'll bitch about, they'll eat the whole damn thing and then they'll bitch. I've seen that
like,
many.
Really? I mean, Jesus. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. That's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Just complaining like that and everything. The other guy I think I like a lot is German in Venice.
Yes.
He's off of...
Yeah, German.
I like him a lot.
Right. Yeah, you keep talking. I'll be right back. Keep talking, okay? Keep talking.
So yeah, he's just going on, German in Venice. He's kind of like the Woo, and everything. And he'll just... and he's come down there. The Woo kind of tries to help all these other channels out and everything once in a while, and they get something both out of it and everything. But the German in Venice has really climbed up there, and he's just another guy. And he says, I don't know why I'm making this video, but hey, I'm just here, and he's so natural about it and everything. And then you got. So they try to keep them short. They don't go to anything that's like 50-some minutes long or anything like that, like Carpetbagger do. So yeah, he's
you kind of hosted your own. You hosted your own podcast there for a little bit. How's it feel?
I know. I was getting a little stressed there. I thought maybe I was going to have to go and do something else.
I had to go to the bathroom. No, I learned about Sarasota Tim through the Troll Patrol. The Venice, the guy is pretty cool. He's very appreciative of his customers. Where DailyWoo doesn't say thank you a lot to people for where he's at. Where Carpetbagger does, but it's because he appreciates the money that people give him.
Oh, see.
So he's all about give me money. And another guy I like who's Paging Mr. Merrill. He's pretty good too. He's very appreciative of his people. He's pretty Paging Mr. Merrill, I think it is. He eats cookies and he travels, but he's very appreciative. He'll meet people in public, and and he's very, very nice. But one of the DailyWoo is I've never heard him actually thank people, because he used to get money from people, and then he stopped and doesn't have that anymore. Where at the end, Carpetbagger, is just like I said, Wonder Hussy. She got a brand new truck, and someone was very generous with her, meaning someone gave her money for her truck. Because her last truck, somebody gave her a bunch of money. Her last one, because she drive bagged for off and on. I would see it. She'd show the mileage on the truck, like it's getting old, right? It's getting old. So I knew this was coming because the truck was over 200,000. So and I knew it was coming. So somebody stepped in and helped her, and then she bought one in Vegas, and her sister bought one, and she did a video on it, and she didn't want to say what he gave, but someone gave her some money to, it never hurts to ask. But then but then the problem is, I know she's got a get together this Saturday close to out there at what's that? She's out there, and she's at a get together this 26. A bunch of people are going to be out. She raised money for the new roof for Baghdad restaurant out there in the desert. It's in between Las Vegas, and she's going to be there it's for the handouts. The people walk up to her and give her money, because when she does that, it's about what's Carol in RV, right? She did her get together as one in Wisconsin, because one day she was going through Minnesota, and she rushed through Minnesota to get to Wisconsin to do her meet and greet, which is what about money, That's not about shaking her hand and saying how you doing. That's about here's some money. That's the same thing with the Wonder Hussy. Here's a gift. Here's money. And I, like someone has said before, people I've talked to, people send me emails. I'm a refreshing guy because I don't have any thank you things down there. I don't ask for any money. I've always said, you want to give me money, it's the like and the share. Because my Twitter's account is full of just of YouTube stuff. Any videos I watch, it goes up automatically. I just share it and whatever, because that helps you. That helps your video. That helps your video go out there. I'm liking, I'm sharing it. I don't. That's the way I look at it. But there's just
I know what you're talking. When I first started and everything, I would just get on and talk about different things, life or whatever,
Right.
and throw a beer every day, whatever I did and everything. And that's when I would use my hillbilly voice and all, which now I go back and watch it and it's like, God, how terrible. But
You'll learn. I mean, I learned
people would say, like, hey, I want to buy you a beer. Do you have a Patreon, or do you have a super chat? And I said, nope, I don't do any of that kind of stuff.
Yep, same thing.
What I do is it's just my views, and that's the way I want it. I'm not that kind of person. I can't do that. I can't take money.
Because you work for a living, that's why. Just like I just did a live stream on the Cowpote Adventure talking about this very same subject. And Dave's down below there going, put your membership on. I'm not, it's not going to be a membership. There's no reason to be membership to my goddamn channel. I don't get it. I don't buy me a coffee. Fine, I'll buy you a coffee in a coffee shop. How about that? I'll be at a coffee shop and I'll give you a coffee. I mean, here you go. Here's your coffee. Just like people that are panhandling, you could give them a lunch. They don't want the lunch; they want the money. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
It's becoming to be every YouTuber now, because YouTube wants you to ask for money because they get a spiff from it, especially when you have memberships.
Oh, everything. Oh, yeah, exactly. It's just like a third here, a 30%, and it's like 30%, Jesus. And then that way they don't have to give you so much AdSense, and everything.
So I think I don't know what they tip, but they know if I was to give you $100, I don't know. Then it's again. If I was to give the huss money, let's just say I really want to give her money, I would lick it in an envelope and it cost 70 cents, and I'd give it to her in cash. And here you go, kiddo. There's $500, and I give it to an envelope. Right. There you go. She gets the whole thing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because the banker is either the post office or me shaking her hand. One of the two. But there's a lot of, I told you that the Sidetrack Adventures guy is really good. There's a lot of good YouTubers on here that do give you good content that are pleasant. And one thing about DailyWoo, he no longer asks for money, so that is refreshing. But I always thank everybody that comes and listens, because there's 6.5 billion things you can listen to. When I was first on YouTube, they'd push stuff out. Now that you've got live streaming and other things, they care about that more than anything else. They care about it's hard for people to come on YouTube and try to find a chance, unless you're a woman, you want to talk about sex. Yeah, they'll push you out.
Right. Oh yeah. You see that a lot out there. I mean, they've got that. It's just crazy. I've seen it where we were watching this one girl that likes to camp in her Honda Civic Civic or something like that out in the forest and everything. But then she goes to the hot springs. She's got to put on her little skimpy bathing suit. And that's what it's all about. And it's like, yeah. And then she says, well, I'm going to go hike the Pacific Coast Trail. Well, that takes you 6 months.
Yep.
She didn't even film it, and I called, garbage on it. Even Caravan's RV, was it Carolyn's RV Life, I think?
Yep.
Yeah. She tried to do that, and she showed a few of it, and it's like, you didn't do nothing, It's just like, you can see when they start faking it out there.
Correct.
To you,
Yeah, when they talk, they'll fake it. I mean, you see my walks. I walk through the forest. I'm walking. I'm making.
Right. You
can tell I'm making headway. The next video, I'm still walking. Yeah, Carolyn V got called out by what's his name? Line Screw One, because she was faking her walks, and that's just. That Wonder Hussy will do. She knows about clickbait. She'll put a picture of herself in a swimsuit on her.
Right, I've seen her do it.
She does that to get clickbait. She's even talked about that. Nothing like clickbait, because she knows what she's doing. So she'll do that in a swimsuit. And women they know that. That's what they're going to get, clickbait.
Oh yeah.
Because there was a video one time. I happened to be Explorers, and I saw the clickbait was looking up at the chick, right? So her ass was in the picture, and I went to it, and just to see the responses, and half the response where I came for the girl, nothing was there. So that was the picture, but that was the picture they had of her. So that brought the guys in, because that's what they saw, expecting. And I went through. You mainly just saw her talking or walking or whatever. That was a clickbait. That was to get guys to come.
Right. And that's basically what I did in my title today. I says, oh, she's filming her ass.
Yeah.
Which basically only in the second video at the very end he swishes around real fast and films her ass and then goes back to Teddy, you know.
Right.
That was all it really was, you know. But
I've always called it. It's starter porn. A lot of times on YouTube, there's a lot of suggestive shorts that women will do, and it's.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, oh, they're doing underwear, or they're doing underwear with water, or we're gonna show you, we're gonna do a review on the breast pump today,
swimsuit hauls or whatever, and all that kind of behavior.
It's all of it, yeah.
Because one day I hovered over one time for some reason. I stepped away for about 30 seconds. So for about 2 weeks, I was getting recommended swimsuit hauls. It took a while for me to finally go away because I didn't click anymore. It finally took a while for YouTube to give me something else because I think I clicked on it. I was over it for like about 30 seconds on my phone, and so it thinks you're watching it. I'm like, oh, come on. I don't care about swimsuit hauls. I don't care. You know? Yeah,
and it's bad. You know, it's hard to get new content out there on YouTube because there's so much, but then the algorithm, you click on one subject and then they start pushing all the same subject out there to you.
I listen to a lot of war stuff, so. But
right.
But it's been pretty quiet with your uncle, Mr. Blind Views. I haven't seen.
Well, he put 4 the other day. He put 4 out in the same day.
Okay.
So he barraged. He just put like 4 out. Boom, 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 boom. And it was like, so now you're flooding it all in one day. Really, just everybody want to go out and watch 4 videos in a day, but. He's got some loyal followers that way, I guess. I don't know.
Well,
but he still can't come up to what Tim's putting out, the view count that is per video.
Well, but remember, he doesn't watch him, so don't forget that.
Oh, I know that. And I guess he did get some more subscribers because he finally hit 13,000. Wait, not.
Well, you know what that law that
13,000.
You know what that is? That's usually his white hats go make troll accounts and then sub them up. So it's just like what's her name wants to get to 100,000 subs, Wandering Gypsy, because she's been doing these live streams complaining about why people think of her, and it's like, good luck getting 100,000. I mean, okay, good luck, but again, I always say, to me, it's quality over quantity, and I get it. It's like, it's just.
Right.
I get subs. Whatever I have my adventure is 2,300. It's just I got a lot of old subs from a long time ago, and here it's 800 some, whatever it may be. And because one time some kid, I was wearing I was at Costco and I was wearing my Cowpote adventure hat. How many views? I said I got 2,000 at the time. Oh, really? And I said, I monetize. Doesn't mean a damn thing. I looked at the kid. I said, it's great. I monetize. It doesn't mean a thing, sir. I said, I'm not getting 50,000 views per video because that's when you make your money. I said, you have to get a lot of views. I said, that's why, that's kind of like with what's his name? He's up and down. Same thing with Carpegger. He barely cracks 20 at times, and he varies between, sometimes he goes under 20. He needs that 40,000 views to make money, and that's what. Same thing with TheDailyWoo. You got to make that 50,000 plus to make the money on YouTube. You got to make it.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's. I remember when we were all going pretty strong on Sarasota Tim, and I think he was out in Utah or somewhere like that, and I was putting out a video practically every day or something like that on him. And when I first got my first paycheck, it was like $500. Mm-hmm. That's the most I've ever made on there. But the thing is people don't understand. You might put, 10-minute, 15-minute video out there, but then you go back, and I know it takes a little time, but you're still taking up half your day or at least part of it, And then if you're doing that for $500, $500 really for a whole month?
That's why the video that I put out today, I was walking down by that old house way back, and I did a couple that I did in the woods. That'll be when I'm gone. I'll walk to the woods, and they're coming out later. As I'm walking, I put them out every other day. You know what I'm saying? Right. But like I said, I could not imagine being a carpegger, the TheDailyWoo, trying to make money on YouTube and just pumping stuff out every single day and hoping and watching my views please go up, please go up, please go up. Hoping and begging for money and begging for views and please like it, please subscribe. Blah blah, please, 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 and being the e-beggar that people like to do. So
it's almost easier just to go to work, and
get a job,
collect the paycheck,
ask for an application.
It's just like, because that's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. It is. It's a lot of work, and it's your time is money, man. I could make $200-$300 an hour work for my uncle, and do that in time and fabricate or organize or do a computer thing, whatever else. Instead of, to me, this is just a side hustle. I make $110 a month here on Spreaker. So you tell me I make $1,200 to $1,300 a year on Spreaker. I make more money on Spreaker than I do on YouTube on my monetized channel. It's because I'm on 31 different platforms. When this one it goes out. And I get it. I've been podcasting for a long time. Like my NHL one, my NFL ones, where I make my money at, and then Fear Mongering Radio, I get listened to over in Israel and overseas and wherever else, and I get spiffs from these certain places. But it's I work for a living. It's fun to podcast. You can make money at podcasts. You just gotta be hard. A lot of people start a podcast, they do 6 shows and they quit because they expect to all of a sudden get 1,000 views. It doesn't work. I've been around a long time, so doing the NFL, and people know who the hell I am, and they know what they can get from me. What I'm saying? There isn't like so. And swearing isn't going to get you anywhere. It's just not. Right. I don't need that kind of behavior.
Right.
I don't need to sit there. I know how to swear, and I think you do too. But when you're recording yourself, you don't want to say something you're going to regret. When you're in a character mode, you don't get prejudice. That's not the way it works.
Right. You've got to kind of watch it.
Right. Anyways, I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna call Karl real quick, and I head on down the road. So thank you for taking my call. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right.
It was an enjoyable talk.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
All right. There he goes, man. He's always fun to have on. So appreciate him coming on the show. Let's call Karl real quick. I'll get on down the road here. So, was this Ted? What's this? You have to watch. That's what is Ted? What was Ted? Call you just eating. Okay. Well, I'll be long gone. I'm going to call Karl real quick. Thanks for calling in the show.
Hey, on the show.
Yeah, I just got off the phone with Mark. We chatted for a good 20 minutes.
Yeah, he was showing me a new beer.
Yeah, I saw that. I played a little bit of that back a little bit. So we were just chatting. He went over and listened to Carpetbagger, and we were just talking about certain YouTubers. It was a good conversation. So we were just chatting.
Yeah, I'm picking up some Forest Light to have when I get home. I'm on my way back to the beer.
Well, did you get permission from your uncle to drink that kind of beer?
He would probably call it piss.
Well, you better make sure. You better send an email and ask permission to drink a certain beer, because you know how he is about beer, right? Blind views. That's the way he drinks it.
It's the water. It's Rocky Mountain water.
Yeah, but you have to ask him first before you can drink that kind of brewski. You gotta have it.
You're on the other side of the river. We couldn't have Coors for a long time.
Oh, I know. We when I was younger, the next neighbor, he's long past now. He did a lot of hunting in Colorado, and I collected aluminum cans in the old days. And it's the first time I ever saw. He'd bring down his cases when he'd finish them. He'd bring them down to me. I'd crush them. And he'd give my dad a case of Coors. So my dad drank Granny, but that's the first time I ever saw Coors when he would go to Canada. When he would go to Colorado hunting. So he would bring back about 20 cases of beer. And so it
was always a big deal when someone came back from vacation and they brought back Coors.
Yep. He'd bring it back, and he'd come down to my dad's house, give him his case, and they'd exchange money, and he'd bring a couple cases of Grain Belt down to people down in Colorado. So he'd bring about 2 or 4 cases down to his buddy in Colorado, because they Grain Belt was our local beer here, and his buddy liked it. So they would kind of chamber. Yeah, he was a cement guy, and he would always bring stuff back up, and he would have the time of his life. So he always loved Coors. It's just like the first time I ever, what Stroh's beer is, don't you? Stroh's.
Oh yeah.
They're out of my brother dated a lady from Michigan, and I was turned on to Stroh's by her, and that's a pretty good beer. That was out of Detroit. Basic beer, but something different. I mean, I've never been a real big Coors drinker. I've been through the brewery before. I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad beer. It just has a different taste to me when it goes down. Because
it's just something you couldn't have, like a Cuban cigar.
Right. Correct. So when we
there's nothing. I know there's nothing special about it.
Right. No. It's a good. It's got a fresh taste to it. It's just got a different way it goes down. And I'm not saying I would if you gave me one, but when we went to the brewery, we walked through it. In there, you got a free sample of beer that was only 2 hours old. So they would give you a shot off the tap right there. So literally fresh beer, because in the break room they have 2 taps. You can drink 2 beers at lunch in the break room, and they'll let you drink 2 beers while you're at lunch. So that was a cool tour, because they're the ones who made Zima. And what's the other one? The other one they made, another beer they made. I can't remember what it's called. I've seen it around a few times. A couple beers that they make there. But it was interesting to go there just because that's when they were into NASCAR, and you walk through, and then they had the big place you could buy stuff. But there's another beer that they make. I can't remember what it's called. I've seen it before, but it was fun.
Well, I got the banquet beer.
Correct. So
my wife likes that because she likes what's his face's voice.
Right. So I was telling Mark, we went down to Scoreboard, and they screwed up Sue Ellen's meal, kind of burned it. So they bought us our appetizer, which we didn't know. Okay. And then the lady brought us a dessert, which she didn't know the other girl was doing that already. So I'm like, oh my God. So we got 2 free things out of it. We didn't really complain, just like we were at Applebee's, and it took forever to get our food. And it was. And I think he took something off. We didn't ask for it, but it took forever to get it. But it was wasn't the best. But we didn't really complain.
Oh, you talked about your dinner last night?
Yeah, we were over at Scoreboard, and her meal was wasn't perfect. She sent it back. It was kind of burnt. And then I had a walleye. So then the lady took off the chips and salsa, which we didn't know that until she got the bill. Then the lady brought us a dessert. So they both didn't know that the one was doing the other. We didn't ask for that, but then she goes, "Oh, no big deal. You can have it. You guys come here all the time." So I thought of Tim right away, but we didn't ask for that. It wasn't a big deal. We just said, "Hey, can you recook it? I'll wait. I'll eat the chips slow. Take our time." But I'm like, "Oh my God."
Well, here's a question, because I worked at Applebee's. You worked at Perkins,
right?
What'd you do? What would you do when you get something set back?
Well, you try to make it as soon as possible. Put it even better, I guess. Why? What's up?
You didn't do like that movie where you're like putting it in your pants.
No. I'm not trying to break. I rarely had anything come back unless someone really pissed me on. I was pretty much. I've never had an omelet come back because it was raw. I think maybe 1 or 2 burgers because it just wasn't up to snuff. But I never let a lot of stuff come back. I just didn't. Because Perkins was kind of like fast food. You pumped it out, you got it out, and you had hot, and it was cold. So, and
but I mean, lots of people have this horror story. Like if you send someone back, they're going to be messing with it.
Yeah, that's one thing.
We got stuff sent back. We just tried to make it as correct to the specifications as we could, right? And send it back out. We didn't mess with it.
That's one thing I would never screw with someone's food. I just because I like food too much, I would never do that. My wife's friend, she worked at the Subway in Little Falls, and she was telling a story later on when the kids were old, like grown ass, 25 years old. They told her later on when she ran the Subway that they really realized why she harped on them about to wash their hands, because she had to harp on them all the time to wash their hands. When they were 16, 17, that they didn't understand. You have to wash your hands because you can kill somebody. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can kill somebody if you don't make a burger correctly, or chicken is raw, or whatever, salmonella. You can. When I used to come in all the time, if something was like it was questionable, where to go? In the garbage. If I didn't screw it up.
You have to know the order of things that can go on top of one another.
Right. FIFO, first in, first out. You know what I'm saying? When I put away the order.
Yeah, and what is it? Chicken's got to be all the way on top.
Yeah, and some people just don't understand
because you're gonna cook beef to 100. Beef can be on the bottom,
right?
And seafood's got to be above everything.
Correct. You just got to know, but people don't know that. So you can kill somebody, and restaurants get closed down because people that are there don't care when they mix stuff together. They don't understand raw meat, and it's like you got to understand that. It's just that's why people get sick.
Because if it's a weekend, that fridge door's open all night long. And shit could thaw out and drip on you.
Like I had a restaurant. If I had a restaurant tomorrow, I wouldn't have parsley. It was called Sherry something over in Golden Valley. It's gone now, but she was a really cool restaurant. But she had parsley, and the parsley got people sick. Which is, I told my wife, there's no reason to have parsley because if it isn't cleaned right, you can get people sick. And it was a great little restaurant, but guess what happened? She never recovered from it. And because she was putting parsley on top of the food what do you want to call it when you garnish it? Which I when I used to go into the truck for Perkins, I would check our tomatoes, anything else before I even came in. I said, it's dirty. I don't want it. And they learned never to bring me anything that was dirty because I wouldn't take dirty produce. You know what I'm saying? I was not going to take it.
Yeah, and a lot of times at restaurants, you have the most inexperienced cook preparing the salads, which aren't cooked.
Yeah.
And the stuff that's not cooked can get people sick the most.
Correct. You got to be careful. Why do you think we talk on the cruise? Why do people get sick? Because old people take a crap. They walk up. They touch that's why when I go on a cruise or I'm on a buffet, I did the same thing in the buffet today. We were down there at the VFW. Guess what I had in my hand? I had a napkin in my hand when I was using the spoon. Because the lady in front of me rubbed her nose and then touched the spoon. She rubbed her nose. Guess what I had? I had that napkin. Because I'm not going to be touching someone else's stuff. That's how diseases happen. I mean, that's why buffets. If a lot of people now on cruises now are starting to serve you like in the military. Pop on your. The military does that. They stand and they put it on your plate. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's the way they're doing on cruises because people get sick because your wife goes and cracks one off or something, or you do, and you don't wash your hands. You come walking out, and all of a sudden, you start spreading that disease because Karl was too lazy to wash his hands. In fact, last time we were in Vegas, probably about half of it was you told them what you wanted, and they got it for you. Yeah, they've learned. They've learned that behavior. They'll give it to you instead of it's like I've been on many cruises and old people will take their finger and push the tomatoes right off the spoon like they don't care. It's like really, it's like I'm like really, you little pig. So before I cut you loose, what's going? I had Mark on. So what's going on with Sarasota Tim Hayter? What's going on?
Well, he went to this tight pants point where he used to live. Mm-hmm. Which I think for him was probably the best time of his life, the best it was ever for him. When he burnt that bridge, and he's there having awkward conversations, and the lady's just trying to be polite and hoping he'll leave, and the dude is like taking little digs at him on camera. Not enough to where he knows Tim will stop filming, but enough to where Tim's like, tell people what you really eat. and he'd say, why can't I have a woman like Jolene? Well, because you blow through them like toilet paper. So, kind of shit like that, like we do to each other. Right. But with Tim, those are landed. With us, we don't give a shit.
I can't wait till you get your lighter from the grits guy. I hope he allegedly came through with the lighter for you.
Yeah, I have to check my mailbox. I got my torch, but it'd be cooler if I had.
Yeah, you're gonna have to say, listen, this is from Cowpote through him to a listener. You call the show, and you're gonna light up a cigar because I'm gonna expect it. Instead of playing with it, you're gonna torch it up and you're gonna smoke it.
Yeah, this is better than just giving me money. This is cool shit. It just naturally happens.
Well, it never hurts to ask, right? It never hurts to ask, right?
I didn't ask for it.
I know. You know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying.
Yeah. He asked me if he could send them. Well, I told him he didn't have to, but if he wanted to.
What size shirt? What size shirt do you wear?
Shoot, I don't know. Well, 2X when I was big, but now I'm kind of like a large because I lost a lot of weight.
I'll see what I have for a shirt. I might send you a spec kit when I get around to it, so I'll see what kind of shirts I have, all right?
Well, if you got something on 1X or a large, I guess is.
Okay. When I get around to it, I'll ship. If I get it, I know I have a hat, so I'll see if I get around to it. I'll ship you one. So I've got some left over. So I haven't bought in a long time. So I'll see what I have.
In my 40s, I was knocking on 300 pounds.
Are you serious? Well, I lost 190 years ago. So
yeah. So and I haven't really been trying to lose it. It's just
people pull me off the side of work when I worked at the hair care company. They thought I was sick. I go, no, I'm just losing weight. And they thought I was sick. I'm like, no, I'm not sick. I'm just losing weight.
Yeah.
It's like, no, just because I don't have cancer, I don't have AIDS. Well, you know how it is. You start losing weight. It's like, no, it's called hard work. And I'm kind of getting it back, but it's like, I love to lose some more, but it just takes too much work. It's like I'm just too lazy. I'm too old to be.
Yeah, that's why I like this job, because I just get to exercise all day long, and so when I'm not working, I can just hang out like I'm lazy.
Right.
And then people are like, I can't believe you work because you're so lazy when you're filming. Well, it's because I'm off work.
Exactly. Same thing with my walk and talks. I mean, my point and shoot, right? It's lazy. It's just what I do. Your videos are what they are. You're giving your point across, and you're pointing and shooting, and you're done. That's this. They get the enjoyment out of you doing stupid stuff. Just like
I was in Creve Coeur the other day, and I'm like, wow, there's this little thing, like a little parklet. I'm like, I've never seen it before. And I walked down there, it's like a little headstone, and I'm like, is someone buried here? I didn't even know. And it's where Fort Creve Coeur was, where Lewis and Clark.
Right. Yeah, I saw that one.
Left out of here, and I'm like, wow, that's super cool. I never even knew this was here.
No, it's amazing when you go look in your town what you can video of it. I mean, I went to the car show. You've seen those. I've done. Those are just walking around in the rain. I mean, I was bound and determined to go, and I walked around showing people cars. I think I got 8 of them coming through. Showing a car show. Just very simple. You can see the cars, and I'm talking about it. I'm not gonna. It's more fun to do it, and you can watch a cool car show here in Minnesota. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's all about. So if you need editing, then go see a horror movie. You know what I'm saying? It's point and shoot. Here it is. This is what I'm talking about. That's the way it goes. If just like the feud going on with the TheDailyWoo, the two the passing through and the other guy, because the sheriff thought that the pass through guy was picking on TheDailyWoo too much. It's like, it's just stupid. But just how
like this, I love these conversations because you wind up learning a whole bunch of stuff about shit. Like we found out about Carolyn.
And say, just say I had Mark on,
all that shit.
I had Mark on, and he told me today he went and listened to Carpetbagger because we talked about Carolyn RV. That's all. And I talked to. I think I've told you about its history. I show people out.
Yeah, I didn't know about Carpetbagger before you. I think I might have seen the Woo, and I might have seen a little bit of the bathroom one, right? The phones in the bathroom.
Yeah, I mean, in the house, you want to go listen to her. You want to go listen to its history. You want to go listen to Part-Time Adventure. I shout out people that I listen to, and listen to them. And then Sidetrack Adventures is really good. He does a video a week. He does stuff out in the desert. Very nice man. Very nice man. Go check him out. He does a weekly, every Wednesday, something comes out, and he gets like 50,000 views because he's very good at what he does. So there are things you can listen to on YouTube besides Tim. There are things out there that you can help out a creator, and make a comment down below and go, nice work. You know what I'm saying?
And the cool part, too, is meeting people all over the United States that you would never have met.
Correct. That's what I've said.
Like you're in Minnesota, and the Van Adventures in Minnesota, and Good Morning, and Life of Barb, the
Life of
Python, and Blind Views, and Drifter. I mean, it's just so cool.
Yeah, I know. That's why I don't put any of my videos up on my Facebook. You know what it all is? All my family. They don't care about my stuff. They could care less. I'll call my.
Yeah, I had some hater in my comments say, "Oh, I went to your warehouse to apply for a job, and nobody knew who you were and nobody knows about your YouTube channel and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, whatever.
Are you serious? Wow, that's just sad.
I don't tell anybody at work about my YouTube channel.
I don't either.
That's what they tell you to do, not to tell your. I mean, my family knows, but I don't tell people I work with about it.
Some people know. Some people, but I don't promote it. Some people will say, "Hey, I found you do good work," but I don't. I really don't. My family could. I'll call my sister occasionally on this channel. I'll call her, and I always tell her. I'll call my brother the bitch. He used to come on my show all the time when I was on Blog Talk. We would do shows together for when he was driving for FedEx. But I don't share it because no one cares about my podcast and my family. They don't care, you know.
Yeah, and they say those people will hurt your analytics.
Yes, so
because like if it's your family, they might watch one or two, and then that's it.
Yeah,
and then that makes it look.
I can make my sister laugh when I go into her house and be goofy with her. You know what I'm saying? But I will call her occasionally on the show, and she doesn't like Trump, so I'll always say your boy Trump and get her all mad. You know what I'm saying? So, I call her once in a while when she's around. I'll call her. I'll say you're on the show. Watch, and then she'll joke around or whatever. She's really nice. She's a really nice young lady. But I call my brother bitch occasionally out of the blue if he's not driving. I'll call him. But whatever it may be. But I call Ted the Talking Head, a friend of mine. But anyways, Karl, I got to cut this loose and do the rest of the packing for the big trip tomorrow. I leave tomorrow. I'll be in Atlanta. I might do some live streams on the podcast from St. Martin. We'll see, maybe. But anyways, you have a safe week. Keep the fort down. Keep Tim's fin to the higher, and I appreciate you calling the show and coming on. Okay.
Yeah, you have a great trip, man.
I will, and I'll talk. All right, there he goes. There he goes, Santa Claus. Off he goes, man. We always appreciate him coming on the show. Anyways, call the show. We've been over a 90-minute show. Old McGold, but I appreciate Mark coming on. Ted couldn't come on because I think he was eating, and I get it. But remember the military and the armed forces, all the branches. The Air Force, the Army, and the Marines, and the Navy, and the Merchant of the Coast Guard, they're on uniform. You got your choices in life. Okay? Storm those beaches. Balls, trees, 1 and 2, storm the beach, stand the crowd, feed the Jews. Make good choices in your life. Are your choices? Well, you'll live well. We don't want poor people. Don't drink and drive. Cause murder someone. Put a condom on. Prevent unwanted children. Okay? Fear-mongering radio. We're shutting it down. We'll see when we get back. We have videos coming out for you guys to watch while I'm gone. Share the show. Share the show. Call the show. Call the show. Appreciate it, you guys. Fear-mongering radio. Appreciate everybody coming. I did not have sexual relations with that woman, Miss Lewinsky. Ladies and gentlemen, this voice, man, we are out.